guys, it's Colton and welcome back to another car vlog. I will be 100% honest with you guys. I have not had that much time at all over the past couple weeks to do my normal sort of video and have just been struggling to come up with something that I could do. So here's a car vlog because that's easy, and we'll get into a little bit more information here in a little bit, separate from just this car vlog about why it's been so difficult. I'm going to Dunkin' Donuts right now, if you're curious, for coffee and donuts, because what is health, really? I have a mobile order, number 399.
Love that, right at the window, thank you.
All right, thank you. This is very David Patterson-esque, driving a 5.0 Mustang to go get food, like he did a lot early in his channel. Thank you. No, thank you. Thank you very much. You have a good day. Except for unlike Smurf in those videos, my car definitely has a throwout bearing issue that becomes very apparent when you're close to a wall. I just wanted to talk for a second about what's been going on in this area. I know this is not car related, or not really, so hopefully it doesn't disappoint too many of you guys, but we should be getting back into more regular content shortly. But there's been a lot of tornadoes in my area recently, like a lot of tornadoes. And I don't think that I can really over or understate that. That's just how it is. There, only a week ago from today was about a dozen tornado warnings in my general area. I think only like 3 or 4 of them were like confirmed sightings, but the rest of them, they found rotation on a radar. So, you know, that's not great. And in my exact area, I was not there at the time, but only a few days ago, we were getting up to baseball-sized hail in certain areas. And luckily, that has not really affected my wife or I too much, or our vehicles or our property. A bunch of people's, I'm sorry that this is, gotta mix this together, but a bunch of people nearby us had their trash blow into our yard, which, you know, is not that big of a deal, all things considered, when buildings not that far from us look like this.
In this afternoon and into the evening, that could have another round, unfortunately, of some strong to severe thunderstorms. We hope not. Based on what we've already seen this morning, we don't need any more damage, but that may be the case.
And then 9, you can see how quickly that storm makes its way off to the northeast. Like we saw today, like we saw on Friday. These are going to be moving at highway speed. I mean, we're talking 60 or 65 miles an hour as they make the way right along the river itself from south to north, okay?
This time the 7-Eleven that partially burned down made it out unscathed, but not the Shell station next door. But yeah, so there's been a lot of damage. Not in the clip that you just saw, but in, I don't have any video of it actually, but there is a building that is less than a mile from my wife and I's house that had its roof ripped off. And so we were seeing that on the news, driving back to our house from a nearby town, not really knowing what we were going to be driving back to. It turns out our house was okay, which I'm incredibly thankful about. Although ironically, you know, like, I have insurance, so if something happened to my house, it would be unfortunate, but oh well. But if something happened to some of these other people's houses that were on the news, for instance, like mobile homes and stuff like that, there were mobile homes that were destroyed or pushed off their foundations, different things. People that don't have insurance and are just kind of stuck as to what to do, and that's unfortunate. It's been predicted that it's going to be a really rough April for us in this area when it comes to storms, and I have no doubt about that, because it's been a really rough beginning of April. Although we didn't get any crazy damage, I'll show you guys some clips of what our house and or yard was looking like in the middle of these storms. The storm that was about a week ago from today is when most of this happened, and there was just a colossal amount of rain that equaled a colossal amount of water. And so a lot of that water collected, and it collected at points higher than our house. And so we ended up with a lot of water running down our street. Our street was like a raging torrent, which was really interesting. And that also meant that I got a lot of water in my garage.
Well, this is like over an inch deep. It runs under the Mustang. It's still actively dripping down. This is also like an inch deep. And yeah. This, on the other hand, that's new. It's never leaked here before, but the Mustang is all wet, and normally the only car that gets wet's Taylor's car, but for some reason her car's dry. Okay. I don't know what is up with that. And, you know, we still have another, at least one very large wave of this storm coming in a little bit.
Which I do know that my garage has some water issues. The roof needs replaced for one thing, but there's also some issues with the foundation where there's some cracking and stuff like that. Stuff that I can fix, but because it hasn't been fixed yet, a lot of water and mud and stuff got into our garage. But mostly, the thing that's the most interesting that you'll see in this clip is that the basically asphalt pad that I park my truck on most of the time, it was literally, the gravel that is in front of it was carved or eroded away like a foot deep in front of this asphalt pad, and it actually cracked off part of the pad that was not very thick by any means, like maybe an inch or two. And so it was actually somewhat difficult to get my truck backed off of there without it getting stuck, which I did do, and it was okay. But yeah, it's just been interesting because a lot of our gravel has now been washed down the road.
There goes what used to be part of our driveway. This used to be level. It's now like 6 inches broken away. It's all been eroded. And there's a new stream as well. I've always wanted a water feature, just not like this. There goes the sump pump. You can kind of see water there under some of this. It comes from in here. Unfortunately, of all rooms in the basement for there to be a lot of water actively coming into, this one has the most. There's a puddle in this corner that is trailing water throughout this part of the room.
This is the most that a storm I feel like has ever affected me personally, and I'm incredibly fortunate to say that it still has not that much. But we still have a lot of tornado season left to go, which is in this area a lot of the year. So we'll see what happens. I also found that somewhere between precision and stupidity, you can turn a 2-car garage into a 3-car, and I actually managed to fit all 3 vehicles in the garage at the same time. And we are pulling back into the garage now. Try not to scrape the front lip on the Mustang anymore. It already scrapes everywhere. And the way I actually ended up doing that is I asked I'm about to stall. Asked my wife to guide me, and I had her basically place the Mustang's front end as close to the wall as possible, and then I put a jack under the back of the car and literally scooted it against the wall. So it worked, and you know, I can't complain too much. Let me show you guys some of the damage out here now that there's not water there.
So all of this gravel that you see, all of it at one point used to be part of our driveway. I mean, you can see how deep this is. Like, it's a lot of gravel that all used to be right here. And you can see the pathway of where the earth was literally just carved away. I wish it came across better on camera just how deep this is and how deep this puddle is. This was all level with gravel, and it has literally carved away. I mean, you can see, again, like I said, this was all level, and this is just a ledge that is close to a foot deep of just the earth being carved away by this water. I mean, this water here, you can barely tell on camera, but this is not just a tiny little puddle. This is decently deep as well. So it's an example of the power of the planet, and something that I'm gonna have to fix a little later on. So, you know, I'm not complaining about the damage that we got, because it could have been so much worse. You know, all of our belongings are fine. My wife and I are fine. Our animals and everything are fine. So I'm not complaining, really. But been a lot of stuff going on with these storms and stuff like that. They've delayed some of our work. We've been trying to catch up with it. We've just been really busy over these last couple weeks. Hopefully that'll slow down a little bit. So if this video is not quite what you were expecting, I apologize. It's also just being filmed on my phone, so if it's not quite the quality you were expecting, I apologize, but I assure you, more quality content will be coming again soon. So hopefully you guys, if you did end up watching this video, enjoyed it, and I assure you we'll be back for more shortly. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.